Well, we're going to get right into this pretty shortly here. So does anybody know why the weekly target was such an important target? Like going back to stream, talking about 760, why this was such an important target? Like obviously you have trend and that's fine and it lines up with this, but there's kind of a deeper hidden meaning behind why this was so important. Anybody care to take a guess? And there's something I don't have on my screen that's pretty vitally important right now. No, wouldn't be a daily origin because it's a weekly, right? Or a weekly test. The daily origin doesn't really matter too much here. When we went and back attacked this, it was just a daily at that time. So it was just a daily at this time when we went and back attacked it. At that point, we have two things happening here. I want to get through this quick because I just want to talk about the current range where we're at right now. So this trend, when it breaks, it's going to attack either the hold level, right, or the creation of the move. Right, so it's either going to ladder the beginning of the move, create the daily origin, which, as Nuke said, create the daily origin, but that's not as important. But this trend anyways controls the range, right? Just like an interior trend controls the range on anything, right? This trend controls the range. And so fine, you use trend, you hit targets, you lose your move, right? You have your higher interior trend here, right? You end up losing that. There was a more important trend coming from the weekly that I deleted. It's okay, it's not important anymore. The point being is that you have like interior trends, right? Just like this, to here, to here. You have these interior parts of your trend. You have like the larger trend controlling the move, and then you have the interior component. They both break, right? You end up getting to, I believe it was here first, right? And then you adapt to here. That's what it was. It was here to here, and then you had the backside that compressed the move down, right? So that's what that trend was, because it was actually supposed to be like this. You lose this trend, you lose that level, go here, lose this trend, and the move collapses. I just had it pinned to there for the after analysis. So anyways, when you lose this trend, just like an interior trend, you're going to go and back attack the basis of what it is. In this case, it's trying to break the move because it's trying to use the daily level here, going to a weekly origin, right? Or a weekly level, a daily level that will turn into a daily origin, or a weekly test, turning into the future into a weekly origin. So this is now controlling the entire move. So the reason it's going here is pretty straightforward. It's also just like intersects with trend perfectly. It's just like pretty straightforward, right? Like you can go here and you can see how straightforward it is, right? Like it's literally right there. There's like there's nothing here to like confuse or mistake. But weekly break level is starting to ladder down the move as you have daily break. Now it's attacking it as a weekly break, right? Break this trend. It's again going to go to one of two places, this or this. We can delete this, we can delete this, we can delete this. So very straightforward so far. Very straightforward. Just goes after the weekly part of the move. It already hit it on the daily, right? So when you were back here, you can't really hit it on the weekly, right? Rather, it creates the weekly level, and that's one of the key giveaways is why it's going to be attacked, because here it wasn't a weekly. Here it's just a simple daily. Goes, hits the daily. At this point, after it puts that daily into succession, it turns itself into a weekly, right? Like after this, it turns itself into a weekly. Very simple. So that's pretty important for that move. That's pretty important for that move. You can even go here now as a form of polarity, but I wouldn't. I would leave it right there. You can kind of time frame up the polarity, but yeah, you're gonna get, you know, what was supposed to hold the move versus the break of the move, right? Holding right now. So pretty straightforward in a way, right? Pretty straightforward, like pretty easy target. Everybody should be in that trade because that was a super easy one. Now, how long you stayed in the trade is up to you, but you know, you should have at least taken 1% or 2% or something like that on it, at least to kind of this stuff back here, right? Like at least to this stuff, or at least over top of this, and then you know, you go over and you hit this, and then you know, exit somewhere like here, right? So that's like a minimum. This trade is about as vanilla as it gets, right? Weekly level, a little bit of a pump, 1 to 2%, like 1.5 average. Very straightforward, not the important part of today. So what would you need to do today to have this move go into succession after the weekly gets hit? Let's go look at the daily for a moment, because that's going to be pretty important. You've got the daily value here. Hits the move. What puts it into succession is the same thing on the weekly, just time frame up, right? So let's go look at this. So just imagine time frame up, amplified, right? So you go here, you hit that daily, right? What do you end up creating? One time frame down. So you hit the daily, create a 4-hour hold it. Right now, hit the weekly, we need to create a daily and hold the daily. It's very straightforward. Like we're not doing rocket science here. It's very straightforward. We need to create a daily and hold it. So we're gonna have to kind of get wedged here. If we can create a daily distribution, we could of course just go straight up, but we need to create something like this to move this up. So it's exactly what happens, or even equalized time frame, like you see it here. But at that point, like already the move is gone. So, you know, wherever you're snapping this candle to, I'm sure it's already very late to get into the move. So if you were to go to here, yeah, it's like a 1 candle spike, right? Like it just kind of goes straight up. Creating a 4-hour now, which is not bad, but I really do feel like you need to create the daily right now because you did hit the weekly. So you definitely do want to create that daily time frame. Even off this weekly hold level, even go back, hit this weekly hold level again, hold this, right? Something like this. Yeah, auto color is broken right now for everybody. Go here, hit this, hold this back, create some kind of daily time frame. It's been a nice little reaction up so far. I don't think this 4 hour is going to be enough, but you know, we're going to talk about other stuff. What do you need on this trade? What else do you need to justify this trade going? So that's one thing we can identify. We need to create a daily hold level, right? We need to create that daily hold. What is something else that we need in this? Like your trend work, of course, but what kind of trend work do you need? On what time frames? See if you guys know what to do here. Guys and gals, what do you do? Guide me like I'm 5. What do I do? Didn't even just say that. Yeah, can't even just say this. No, not a 4 hour trend to create the daily. Wrong go, Judy. Well, first off, there's a couple different things that could happen, but let's just talk about some of the more straightforward ones. Nope. Another nope. Start moving down in time frames. No. You guys are missing it. See what iNuke has to say. Find the time frame that creates the float. Can't be a 4 hour, that would be here. Can't be an hourly. Potential for an hourly. It's not exactly the valley, but this is like look likely going to be the 15, so I'd like to mark this hourly now. Okay. Right here. So there's your float. There's where you can find your float level here. So this hourly's been tested. This has obviously been tested. This is that part of the range it needs to hold, which can create your floating level from here, right? From here to here. So this is the first thing you want to hold. If you continuously hold this, this is your interior range. If you continuously hold this, see, this is where your float level would exist here. You've already broken over top of it. You created it as an origin, right? I would like to see a larger time frame float create, because we do have this origin right here right now, right? So you have this origin here. So I would like to see, I would like to, like, this can hold for sure. So this is going to be your interior trend against the floating level. Floating level right here, back test, holds nicely, continues to move up. This is going to be, again, your interior range trend against this origin. I would more like to see a higher time frame one create. So what I would like to see for this thing to go into succession is to break above this right here, break above that, and go back and hold this one right here, which right now is kind of where you're at right now. So if you're taking a trade, you can never take a trade past here, because your trade exists kind of from this trend to here, and that's it. And there's a short that exists somewhere from here down to this float like that. So there's a multiple 2% trade here that you have to monitor to see what can actually develop to create the float, which over time will end up creating your daily, right? So that's going to create your range. So that's kind of one of the first things to be aware of, is that's going to create the kind of the range that you need. You can't really create a 4-hour float here. There's no goddamn way. Like, you'd have to go all the way up here and then fall back here. And that's like a longer term move. We are not there yet. We are not even close. We're barely at the hourly even. I don't even think we're really at the hourly. I would almost want to see, like, I want to see how high this thing goes to understand which float is going to be in play. So that's my next step here. Right now, we've got origin, which could break the part of this move that we need. We've got the interior range based on the interior floating level, and that's what's going to hold the move. So if this continues to hold, you will develop something higher, right? Not a bad short here. You could actually short this down to here. It's probably a nice little 40%, 70, 80%. Wow, Jesus, that's a lot. Because you're going to play this trend right now against origin until it breaks. That's what I would do. I would play trend against origin until it breaks. You could probably get 4 or 5 more trades in this thing before it breaks. Like, a short right here makes a lot of sense. It's just like right here above this part of the move. You're not going to get much higher before you fall back to trend. Nice little 80% play. Interior range, let it break up. Use this as the float, which is also the origin breakout point, right? So origin breakout plus float all lines up perfectly here. So this is starting to set up a move up. You can see it happening on the charts right now, and it's going to confirm once you have a blue daily distribution candle. It'll confirm long term there, but obviously you can get in sooner than that. I don't really think the 4-hour can do it here. I don't really think so. No, I think the 4-hour creates this as a backside accumulation. So that you go up, create this as a backside accumulation over the next 8 hours, and then move down and use it as a target to create your floats. Really good short target, slightly above this. Let this hit, break, create a slightly smaller level here. So like something like a short right here, maybe. That's how I would play this if I was trading right now. Short right there. 350, shorter than that. No, where's the ladder on this? I would play it to here. You want to go up, create the next hold level. Some trail that will break under the origin, because I would be looking for a trail to break under the origin. So as long as these trails are being created over the origin, I would keep shorting. So that's how I would be looking at this right now. So when you dump a move like this and you hit your final target, which was here, you need to start creating that other criteria, right? Like, you see the origin level, you see the interior range. I wouldn't even be surprised if this origin level actually creates the range against us. I want to see a daily distribution candle formed. I want to see us hold. And why I want to see a daily distribution candle isn't because I just want a daily distribution candle. It's because I want to see this level hold for a full day. Has nothing to do with anything else. I just want to see this hold for a full day. And that is it. I want this to test, and I want this to have the ability to hold for a full 24 hours, create a blue candle, and then start creating something up. So you know, hold for a day or two because it is such a large target. Let's see if this goes and targets this. Oopsies. Not looking like it's going to. Looks like that's where it might have stopped right there. 320. About $20 away from target. Damn, that's too bad. Just a little higher. Target would have been hit perfectly. Missed trade. Next trade down here. Obviously this. 1 minute, the deep dives trend. I don't know how farther you go down trend. I might look for time frame that lines to trend. Let's go take a look. I may even go like right here. Reverse 5. Yep, that's the one. So there's your trade. Damn, that's too bad. But it's perfectly, it's like, yeah, it's such a simple range to play. Damn, dude. Son of a, just a few minutes too late. Maybe if we were in that a little sooner, we could have saw this and got here. 1 minute level here. Gets front run just a little bit. Holds for 3 minutes, creates that. Yeah, you could have got it in the last second here. Oh, well, no worries. Next trade, easy. It's going to be the 5 right here. So this daily range is going to kind of just dictate like a, you know, there could be 15 trades in here. There could be like just a constant back and forth. There could be like 15 trades. The 5 minute origin isn't really important right now. Like this right here, 5 minute origin, interior range trend is important. No, just because the level exists doesn't mean it makes sense to take it. You've already started to ladder this right here. Not saying it's a bad target. You can do it, but just don't be surprised if you miss the trade. You know what I mean? At this point, I would rather go for the 5 minute reverse. Like this is already tested. This is tested through. I'd rather go for this with trend. You know, I'm not saying don't try to take that 5 minute, right? Like right here, I think is what you're talking about. This one here, like don't like that's fine. So maybe you can go for this 5 minute reverse. Oof, don't be surprised if you miss it though. Oh, on the top side, 5 minute origin right here. Possible. I just walked into this thing. Would make a lot of sense. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense because the 5 minute origins hit on the bottom, right? 5 to 5. Yeah, good call, Noah. Great call. 5 minute origin. 5 minute origin. So now, actually, thank you, Noah, because now, actually, what you want to do is you want to try to ladder this move. So where can you ladder it from? You can still be at the reverse. You can still be here. Still be here. I think it's time to start looking for the 15s. So maybe you want to go start creating the 15-minute trail right here. Hold level here first. Go create this origin by hitting the 15-minute hold. The 15-minute hold might be the play now because you want to +1 the time frame. You want to go up in time frames and start building higher level architecture. The only problem is I'm looking more for a floating level to create that support, but it doesn't really give you one. Like this is not bad as a float. 15-minute origin right here, 15-minute origin here. Obviously that's been hit. 15-minute origin here. So this is a 15 out of 5. Yep, it's a 15. So have we hit target on top yet? No, we haven't. 15-minute origin. 15-minute origin. Always highest time frame down. I got screwed into this. So hourly. 15. 15. This isn't a 15-minute origin on top. It's not hit. It is right here, but that's kind of cooked. 15-minute origin. 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 15-minute orig You got 5 minute right here. So you've got 5 minute on the top that was hit. 15 minute on the bottom. 15 minute bottom. Rate the hourly. 15 minute hourly. 5. Inversing the move. Holding off trend. This is why you never snapshot, because you get lost in the sauce. And now we're just sitting here going through all these different theories, not understanding what's happening with this trade. Okay, start over. And trend breaks, float here, accumulation cycle. Anything higher time frame we missed on the float. Breaks the ladder here. Haven't created that yet. That's broken. This is now trying to create an accumulation cycle off its interior range. So it's trying to break this range right now. And it's going to do that once it closes this. So you're holding this level right now, trying to find the larger time frame. That's fine. So we're just going to float this to here for now, because really this is more important. So we don't even have origins in play right now. Okay, so no origins in play. Range holding, interior range holding. Float, range, accumulation cycle, hold level. This is also not holding. So now we have to develop a bigger part of the move. Now you need to gain this. This looks like it's starting to break up. There. Polarity of the move. Yeah. You need to gain this. You need to gain this so that you can use this to create the breakout. Yep. You need to gain this so you can use this to create the breakout. I wouldn't be looking at origin levels right now. Not on this move. And I would float this trend here. Just because as you move through time frames, this is what you're going to get to. You're going to get to this exact point right here. It's not the important part of the trade right now. So in order for this to keep moving up, what you want to do is you want to break below this hourly and then gain it. Yeah. Actually pretty straightforward. Got that to that, that breaks, interior range, floating level here on the bottom. Still a floating level, gain that. Yeah, you're kind of like right here, 15-minute hold level. What did it do here? Held this backside. Interior range, 15-minute, hourly origin. I don't even think you care about the hourly origin here. Honestly, I don't think you care about this. 15-minute, I don't think you care about any of these origins anymore. To be honest, you don't care about any of them. This is a game of inverse levels against trends right now. So you almost want to get above this and fall below here. So you can actually take a short against this. You can actually take a short against this, or even this. Create that trend there, but I would more likely be here. That's tested through 5-minute reverse. That's the level 5-minute reverse. I don't care about anything else here. I would short the 5-minute reverse. I would short the 5-minute reverse in order to create the in order to create the move to hold to here. Even though it's not a float, the 5-minute reverse I think is the right play. It's just a shame you don't get to it sooner. Oranges are not in play because it's holding an inverse level. Not trying to hit an origin to break the move. It's holding down. It's still moving down. It's still moving down. It's not at a point where it's trying to break out above origins. It's at a point where it's trying to stop laddering down. It'll be origins more when it gets to the top of the range. Like more when it hits this stuff up in here. This will be origin in play. Right now it's trying to stop laddering. That's the difference. Yeah, like you almost want to just take this 5 reverse. Have this break the move to the 15. If the 15 holds, trend stays intact, never touched, moves up. Really what I'm looking right now is for what can break this, which has been holding the move down. This is the 15-minute. So if this is already tested and then you're creating an origin after, it kind of doesn't really matter for the origin levels. They're just not really going to be important. And it's trying to stop laddering right now off of this right here. And in order to do that, it's going to hit the 5-minute inverse next. And this will possibly break it down to that lower range even. You might get back down here off of this 5. So I think this 5 is a good play to leave open. If this 15, like, yeah, I mean 5 to 15 always. I don't think you can hold it for longer. Let's say if that does get there, right? You go here, you can create that to here, 1.7. It's not bad. It's actually not bad. I think once you break this larger time frame here, like you're trying to stop this laddering of this move off this 15 right here, which really you could derive back to here, right? Like you could really derive it back to the origin on this side prior to it creating an inverse level, but it's all the same. Like this and this is going to be all the same here, right? So you could derive it all the way back to here. And then if you wanted to go back further, you could go back to like right here, right? The original origin, but this is interior and this is what would stop laddering it. So that's fine. You really want to get, like you really want to be more focused on this for better entry here. It's kind of like combo leveling the polarity in a way. Like it's close enough that you can combo level it. Because once that happens, you're creating a floating level off of, like once you break past this stuff, you're creating your floating level down here. So like maybe you come up here, spike to this 5-minute, or maybe even a little higher, maybe something like this as a reverse, right? You could go to here as a reverse. That would create the float off of this. So that's another really interesting point right here. Like this, go to here, create this as a float because it broke this ladder point. But interior range here will move it up if it holds. So this is what you have to look at today in order to break this up. But more importantly than not, these are all kind of, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 hour trades max. If you're going to get into the longer trade, you need that daily setup to occur. And then you can justify that longer trade on that daily setup. But I don't think there's like any reason to get into any trades where you just hold them right now. The 1 hour 15. Yep. Well, then you can create trend from here too, right? Like that's going to be an important part. Like defining what will break this move is what you're doing right now. So that's something important to realize. Like you're defining what will break this move in the different directions. Like you're defining the most interior piece and then you're defining the exterior piece. Like if your exterior piece was like this and we'll color, I don't know, in this example, we'll do exterior as pink. Like your exterior pieces are what are going to define after your interior pieces. So maybe you hit this to here to define that to there, and this can create your daily distribution candle somewhere in here after holding this. So the first step down, this hits, it holds, and then it kind of lingers around and tries to stabilize. By the time that happens, it'll be later in the day. You can create your daily distribution candle and then break your localized origins inside of that, right? Inside of that move to find out where the daily distribution will be in succession. You can move up. And these blue lines, we'll turn them, I don't know, maybe, yeah, we'll do like whatever this color is. We'll do orange, screw it. Like a deep orange. These daily interiors are going to be more of your, this is like the interior range that you're fighting for to create your 2 exterior ranges. So that's really important to realize about a move like this. When you hit such a large target weekly, you want to create the daily. And you're going to be able to see more of that when your interior range decides. But you're going to want to find those interior, because this is pretty much what's going to happen in the trade, right? Like you're going to end up hitting this level at some point, I think. Also, maybe even this 5-minute reverse locally, like even, where was that? I think it was right here, right? Your 5-minute reverse locally. This doesn't create a float, but it also stays intact with trend. So it also stays intact with trend to go attack this side. So I think if you hit this 5-minute float and you break down, you can start to think about holding it to here, but don't hold it past this if this starts to hold for too long. Like if you get 2 5-minute candles holding on this, like you just take your profits, right? So that's kind of how you're prescribing this trade, is that you're saying, okay, if this hits and hold, you're going to see if the bottom of this can hold. If this doesn't hold, then you're going here to see if the bottom of this can hold, right? Like the bottom of this holding is going to be dependent. If it hits this and falls, likely won't hold. If it hits this and falls, likely will hold, right? What I would like to see happen, 5-minute goes here, doesn't hold, hits this, get out of trade here, right? Look to create the first move, pump, pullback kind of situation, or even here, like wherever it hits. I'm sure you can go and find the levels. That's not important. The important thing is creating that daily distribution candle, which will also give you this interior range off the hourly or the 4-hour. And then if it continues to hold, then you can create that move up, right? The only other thing you can do with this trade is say, okay, where's the polarity in this move to be created? So maybe you actually go over this and go past this, hit this. So maybe your target becomes like 21.5, 460, something like that, like 460. I think 460 becomes a decent target. Just something to create a like localized breaking point. This is too high in the range. This is more creating like this, like even higher part of it. That's the final break, like create the daily, hit this, pull back, move up, break over this. Reversing off this 5? No, not really. Don't get too tunnel visioned on from 5 to 5, 15 to 15. Don't get too tunnel visioned on that, Noah. Focus on the logic first, and then if it makes sense to use those, then use them. Look more for like the setup on the bigger time frame. And then if it makes sense because you have hit a time frame to time frame is only when a Pandora's box is in play and you're compressing against each other. Is a 15-minute better than the 5 reverse on the bottom? That'd make the 5-minute reverse the 5-minute reverse. Yeah, but that you have to understand, if you're going from reverse to reverse like that, it's Pandora's boxing. Because at one point it's going to have to break outside of that box to go for the bigger target. So that's only in a scenario where you're compressing. Right now you're trying to make trends. So the important thing about understanding right now is what are the 2 important things in play? Create a daily distribution candle and create interior trends to support the development of those. So those are your important pieces right now. I would say you're kind of what you're talking about would be more important when you went to like, okay, you created your interior range. So like if your interior range was already stabilized, but you stabilized it off of this hourly, which would mean this interior range is in succession and it can bring it up to here. So then that's a scenario where I'd say like hourly, but that's not the first thing that's important right now. That can't really occur until you have your interior ranges. Like this thing has to develop some type of interior range. It just hit target and now it's trying to see if it's going to hold off a daily or do something else. So that's good in thought, but don't tunnel vision that, because that can get you into some pretty like really bad spots. Because that'll be important once you stabilize trend. So if you stabilize trend and you continue to move up, then you can start to say what targets it hit on the bottom. That could be an insight to the target on the top, but not yet. It's just too soon. You've definitely been overusing those. Yeah, I mean, there's a time and place for them, but right now the time and place is that we need to create the interior ranges. Like it's so fresh in the move. We just hit a weekly target. And if we have to create a daily, imagine how much we have to create, right? Like imagine how much you actually have to create on the daily. You're going to have like some pretty crazy ranges. Like that's a full, you hit here and then you need another data form and then another one on top of it. You're talking about 48 hours of like interior range play here. So something between like this stuff here and this here for the next 48 hours is what you should be expecting. And then once the development of those levels gets seen, then you'll be able to have like a bit of a better clarity on what's, next in the move. So right now it's like really hyper focused on like this interior range. You just went through a big dump. Is the move going to hold? Yes or no? If it's yes, we need to create a daily hold level to hold this thing up. Still kind of looks like it's dumping, to be honest. But could it stabilize off this? Yeah, it could. But it's got to create the daily first. It's got to create that daily distribution candle and give us some type of interior range to develop off of. So that's like where everybody has to be looking right now. And that's onset by the fact that we just hit a weekly, right? Like that was a pretty important moment, and it intersected with trend. And if we lose this thing is likely polarized down against this backside. Like this is a huge moment. This level is critical, beyond critical, because if you lose this, you've got a weekly backside that's going to just pummel this thing down to like 11.8 probably, or you know, at least back to trend. So backside, hit trend, go up to backside, fall straight down. I think that would be even a stretch. I think after you just lose this, you just kind of get effed on. You know, so like number one right now, create a daily hold level. That's number one. This 4 hour means nothing right now. Doesn't do shit. Not after a weekly level's been hit. As you can see, it's not doing anything. You can already see it's not doing anything. Otherwise, once we got over, we'd just be gone. It can't do anything right now. The 4 hour level means nothing. What is important right now is, again, just creating some type of interior range to hold. So creating some kind of like break above this wick to create the float down here, hit that float, hold that float, create a blue daily candle, start stabilizing and inside that interior. So like this, here's another thing. Like, okay, create a blue candle right here, right? Like this is your blue daily distribution, right? Like this is blue daily distribution. Create a range inside of here. Create your origins inside of this to break out, right? Create your origin inside of that to break out and support some type of, you know, interior trends holding. You know, this trend here is holding from back here. That guy down there, he's holding. Create some type of breakouts inside of that daily distribution to support getting above this, right? And then maybe you can go and hit a target, pull back. Like maybe the polarity is above the daily hold, right? There's some type of polarity above the daily hold. You hit that polarity and then you can just move straight out of it. But right now, the key is to create this blue daily and then something inside of it to break. That should be key right now, and everything else should just be range scalping at this point. There's no safe longs unless you're literally in still from here. But if you're in from here, I think you just forfeited like a pretty decent set of profits here and there. But you just stay in if you want. Like everybody should have been in this trade. It was straightforward. And then now you need to create daily blue. And then if you do that, then you can get into a swing trade, because now you're kind of at the bottom of the move if it holds. Weekly backside, active polarity. I wouldn't. No. Your interior trend will polarize against this. You lose that interior trend, you're probably losing the whole move and just going straight down. See, if you start losing interior trends, you're probably down to like 15k minimum. A slow bleed down to 11k. It'll be like a 2 or 3 week bleed to 11k. So create this interior trend, protect the move, create the daily, more protection, more shields, get above it, break interior polarity. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it's too bad this didn't push up a little further. We could have got filled on a trade and did trade management, but we can always go on the bottom here. It does look like kind of close to the 15 is the play here. How much would that be? 78%. That's too bad. So let's start thinking about the next spot that you could get in here. You do have the 15 break right here. Not really worth it. Always start high time frame down. Hourly, not really worth it. You have your interior range. I believe that was off the 5, right? Or margin hold. No, you're going down to this part of the move. I really just think it's the 5-minute holds on the 15. Not comboed inside of it, but there's not a lot of levels that are. There's just that 1 minute right here. And at that point, you can just... Yeah, I guess you just take the $2 higher, right? It's $2 difference. If you were in this trade, it'd be 40% right now. Would it be worth it? Nah. I think you're just down here. $100 lower. Yeah, that's reasonable. Reasonable right now. It kind of breaks the interior ladder, but keeps the exterior ladder. As this hit the exterior component as well. So it's reasonable. Just move down to target here. What is that, 150? Let's try to get a trade there. Yeah, it's reasonable, and I think you can get a trade there. I think it's pretty smart to just play the range all day long. I think today's one of those days where you can take like 7 or 8 50% trades. I think you can make 4 or 5% on a day like today by just playing this interior range. Like it's pretty straightforward. Is there anything holding this here, or is this just being silly? There's a 3-minute level. Ladders this 3-minute level interior range. Well, you sure definitely don't want to see it hold there. Backside 15, frontside combo trend, frontside combo trend. Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns here. Polarity of the move here. Could even, no, you can't be there. Yeah, no, you're down here. 1 minute hold level here. I don't think so. Reverse one, yeah, no. I mean, sure, it's possible, but I just really don't like it. I think that's just like a profit take by some people from here. What is that, a 50%? Yeah, 50. Up 9. Yeah, no. That's not something I'd back end this off of. The 1 minute hold reverse ladder. No. Nope. Nope. I'd be going for the 150 level. Just hope that the 150 holds and it doesn't break down, because it can, to create that lower range. It's not bad if this goes and tests this 1 minute level, then it doesn't have to test it on the way up either, which is nice. Hey, just fall straight down now. Give us our test. Let us get entry. We can manage a trade. I missed that entry on the top side by just such a small amount. I put an entry up while we were doing this so I could trade manage it. So if I was trade managing this, what would I do? Don't want to start breaking above this, that's for sure. I think I would just still be in the trade. If we start holding above this 3 minutes, maybe I would get out. There's no 5 to be had, so you could get this, hold this. No, I think I would still just be holding the trade. Sure, you could try choose goose, you just might miss a trade. Balance, right? Will to act as polarity. Oh. Remember interior range right now. You need to create an interior range. If it starts pushing this right now, it's going to try to create that as polarity. But I don't think it's going to, but it might. But if it does, it just try to create it as polarity. I'm kind of like 1 minute level. How much is that? Is that enough for a long exit? I guess 17. That's not bad. Nice little scalp. So now I'd be a little worried about this move starting to move up. I think we need to see what happens here, but I would be a little worried about this. If I was in a short right now, I'd be like, ah, crap. Please break down. Doesn't mean I'd long up, just means if I was an entry from here, I'd start worrying about stuff like this. Come on, Bitcoin. Make up your mind. Still okay. You really don't want to gain those. Now creating a 1 minute over top of it. Starting to get a little worrisome. Come on, Bitcoin, just pull back for us. So you'd either be trying to plan an exit now, or you'd be willing to hold through, right? Like you'd either be trying to plan an exit something like this, or you'd be willing to hold through the move. I think you hold through the move here. If I had to take like a stance, I would hold the move still. I don't think I'd be exiting here. I would not be exiting here. Because if your exit is anywhere, it's got to be on the 3 minute there. And that's, you're agreeing that the 3 minute will hold. I don't necessarily think this 3 minute will hold right now. So if the 3 minute, if you don't think the 3 minute is going to hold, why have this as your exit? For now, I'd be like this. Exit here. I honestly think that that's kind of silly too. At this point, you would just either be exiting here or you'd be waiting, because the move is just going to break if this doesn't hold. So like I would still be down here. Exiting here doesn't make sense. Like, of course I can hold the move, but it's still got a target down here. So you're just kind of exiting prematurely. Maybe if you create some kind of trend here and then start holding bigger targets, it might be a good time to get out, but not yet. It's too interim. Oh, that's not what you want to see. Hopefully you don't start creating white candles now. So your choice now becomes to exit like here or stay in. I stay. I don't think you're exiting here because you're saying that's going to hold the move up, which you might miss your exit. So you're exiting like right here, or you're staying. I'm staying. When I turn this line solid is when I don't stay. I'm staying. But if this move is going to hold, this is where you would exit. Doesn't make any sense to hold it, like to exit there. Doesn't make any sense to take like the extra $3 from profit. Like why potentially miss? Do you have anything else being developed yet? So 5-minute polarity right here. No 15, not anytime soon, and obviously no hourly. Which just goes back to here, right? Something like that. Trade exit, I would exit right there. Exit trade here, open here. Nothing to exit yet. So far, we've managed this perfectly. We've played this move, we've understood it. So far, so good. So far, accuracy is pretty on point. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on, Bitcoin. So this is starting to hold. So what is it starting to hold? Because whatever's back here, this is starting to hold it. So we need to be aware of what it's holding. We need to start looking for the level it's holding. Just hitting a 5-minute, but that's not what I'm looking for. So it's a 3-minute. 3-minute, 3-minute. Reverse, no. Nothing here. I would play the interior part of the move, not the exterior. Deciding between playing an interior part or the exterior part is important too. It's always a decision you should make. Am I playing the exterior levels or the interior levels? Right now, I want to play the interior levels, not the exterior. I don't think I'd exit this trade until you break up above this. At this point, no. Okay, Bitcoin. You patiently wait for Bitcoin to make its move. Because right now, I would exit my short here. And I would take re-entry down in here. Not worth the extra couple percent for me. 9%? 8%. Okay, not worth it. Come on, Bitcoin. There we go. Now, is there anything here that it was testing to hold? This 5, this 3 is not bad. So if it goes and holds this again, that'll be something to pay attention to. If it does, we'll need this. Come on, Bitcoin. Here's where it gets pummeled down. Come on, Bitcoin. Nothing to worry about in this trade yet. Like, if people would be panic leaving, there would be no reason to leave this trade yet. Like, it's so important to understand why you're leaving a trade, to have a reason, to have a justification, to clearly say like, oh, it created this level, so I want to exit the trade, not to just react off these candles. Knee-jerk reactions off candles is about the worst way you can trade. There's no reason to leave the trade yet. Like, third-person trading is the best way to do it. Trade it as if you were talking about somebody else's trade. Probably some of the most helpful advice I can give people. Trade it like it was somebody else's trade. Have a plan, stick to it, treat it as if it was somebody else's trade. And now you can start to say like, okay, well, it's probably developing a higher time frame now if it holds this again. So you can kind of start marking things here. You there yet? No. Could have like a 3, a 5, a 15. You don't even have a 5 anymore. You don't even have a 5. So now this is target. Here. Move is starting to hold. Now if you go back and start to like hold this stuff, then it can be a little dangerous, but yeah. Not there yet. At least you can confirm this will be rebuy in the future if you understand that this is like the 3-minute developed. At least you'll know this is perfect entry in the future if you move up. So now you have a reason to leave if you start creating this 3, because it can be perfect entry based on the reverse of that last 3. It was a reverse, I do believe. Yeah, reverse the level. Went after some kind of like greedy 1 or whatever, reverses the 3, creating your next 3. It's creating the trail. So at least you know that like this is the... At least you know this is re-entry. We'll see right here. That trend now. This is like really interior work, but fine. You often pretend you're not even in the trade to keep logic. Yep. Yeah, today we're just doing trade management, talking about the trades, talking about this landscape of Bitcoin. So this is pretty fitting for today. 15-minute origin. No, because you know what? I don't want to use origins yet. I don't want to use origins right now. I want to create interior ranges. Origins are going to break right now, Emmanuel. They're going to break right now, just even just to create the interior components off the larger levels. Like, I would still be in my trade. I would not fret over this. I don't know what that sentence means, Blue Minnow. Op color can wicks. Opposite color? I didn't. It's just a bigger time frame. It's the 5-minute. Accumulation to accumulation, topside, always. That's what you're asking? Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, no, it's just a higher time frame. I wasn't sure if that was a question, so I just kind of answered it as I thought it would be. Yep. You're good, man. You're good. I still wouldn't be worried about this trade. I still wouldn't be worried like, oh, I would still be in this trade. If you're thinking about when we first talked about entering this trade and we just missed it, from here to here is 52, 32. Like, I would just still be in the trade. Maybe if it holds this trend, I would exit, but I would have to exit right now at 43. to agree that this is the right exit, but I don't think it is. I think you just need to stick to your target on the bottom side. I think you start breaking over this stuff, then fine, but you stick to your target. Like, that's why I have my dotted blue line. That's my target. This holds, we get over top of this. Maybe. Nah, I just still wouldn't do it. This trend? No. Like I said, I still wouldn't be out. Ride the wave, take the profits. I'm kidding. Maybe you could get out here. Reverse 3. Maybe. I think that would be a not bad spot to get out. Maybe. Again, maybe. I don't think it's a good spot to get out. I think it's better than the spots up there. Well, I mean, obviously, duh. I just mean that it can still go lower. There's no reason to get out yet. Although this may look big, it's not. What is that, 7%? It's nothing. It's miniature. It's just a little tiny baby candle. We're just so zoomed in. Well, at least if this holds, like, at least you've got a 5-minute range here. Distribution to distribution, accum to accum. So at least you can get out if you break this side. Otherwise, just stay on and break this. Why would I just be in the trade still? No reason to get out. Oh, excuse me. No reason to get out. The reason to get out is breaking this right here and forfeiting the profits. Like, okay, fine, you could take 50 here, but nah. I'm greedy. I'm greedy. Perfect entries are good, easy, like not hard to do. I would ask myself, would I enter here? No, God no, dude. I would be down here. Why not go to the bottom of the range with the bigger trend? So would I enter here? Looking at this chart like this? Hell no. There's no way, dude. There's no way I'd enter here. So why would I exit my trade there? Are you kidding me? Like, if it holds, fine. But there's no way I would enter a new fresh trade here. Is there anybody here who would enter this trade? Yeah, but a quick scalp. You capped at 6% so far, 7%. So I would simply due to impatience. Jude, I'm in. Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. You took the 3 on the retest? Well, you're the one who said you would enter, Nuke, so I'm taking it at face value. You said you'd enter here. Profit cap 7% so far, so good luck. Jude's in. Noah. There's no reason to take this 3-minute ever.
I would not enter a trade there. So if that's the case, I would not exit there either. Bye, guys. Sorry for your trade. RIP. See you in the trade graveyard. Graveyard. Of course you don't take that trade. Even if it moves up here, that's still the wrong trade to take. 8%. You can never take this trade. Always think about your trades as, would I enter there? Should I exit my short? If I'm in short, should I enter here? No, dude. It's still laddering off the 15. So minimum is just going to go to see if it can hold the 15. Like if you've got a higher time frame ladder, like why think that a 15-minute down ladder is going to be offset by a 3-minute candle? That doesn't make sense. I guess you'd be at a point right now where you're trying to exit break even. Again, if it moves up, but not a smart entry, I don't think. RIP to the GGs. Another 15? Yeah. Look for the learning experience. Yep. I wouldn't exit here. Let's just make that clear. I put this trend on because it can bounce the move. I would not exit here, nor would I take an entry there. I think that's straight tomfoolery. If you're entering the 3, this would be the smarter entry on the 3. At least it represents the greediest part of the range that has to hold the move. At least it represents the interior component of the range. It's like if you're entering this 3, if you want to enter this 3, at least you could enter this, but I still wouldn't be entering this. I would just go larger. I think I would just be all the way down here, to be honest. I think I would just be like right here, if we're being honest with each other. I'll just be right there, 35. At this point, yeah. But if you were going to enter the 3-minute, like at least you should enter this, because at least it's like, it's the same play. Like this level and this range represent the same thing. It's just whether it can hold the ladder point, right? Like if this is the current ladder point and you're trying to take this trade, why not just enter slightly above this, especially if there's a trend there? Trend, ladder point, like why not just enter there instead? Because this and this are the exact same entry. It's representing laddering the range, which I don't think this range is going to hold. But if you were going to enter this 3, why not just enter this 1? It's spot like this that make me get out of a trade because we're holding a 3-minute origin, even though it's not a good target. It could hold and I get spooked. Origin creation, even if a tiny one. Target spooked me. Get out of trades too often. This actually makes so much sense how a middle of a range ladder that would probably not offset our ladder on the top. Yep. How could it? I mean, if you're playing the 15-minute, you're just Pandora's boxing between 2 15 minutes, right? Like, well, this is a 5, but this is the bigger ladder anyway. Here to here is like this to this. Otherwise, it's going to go down here, break these ladder points, and create some floating level somewhere, like maybe right here. But anyways, if you were going to like, this is an important lesson for people. If you're going to enter this 3-minute reverse level and there's a ladder point above it,
that's hitting like a trend or something, respecting it, like why not just enter there instead? Because it's the same exact play, the same exact trade. So if this is gonna hold it up, like if the 3-minute will hold it up, this will. But otherwise, it'll collapse the move. But I don't think you ever enter that 3-minute level there. I also don't think this trend is even gonna hold right now, if we're being honest. Maybe it can, but like, not a fan. I'm gonna just break it down to our target still. I'm at 35. I like greedy, man. I like saying like we can't hold this trend. Oh, just kidding. We did hold the trend off the greedier level. I don't like saying let's front run the trend when the trend hasn't even been tested. I like saying we can hold trend if we hit this and bounce the move. Just reduces risk. Come on, Bitcoin. Dump it down, baby. Oh, golden, perfect timing. I'm at like 37.5 on Bit yet. I think it can hit 52 and bounce 52 though. I think maybe 52 is the better entry. If this keeps messing around a bit here, I think 52 is like the straight entry, because you're getting pretty close to that point where it's like, if you were to go straight down from here, you're getting pretty close to that. You know, at this point, you're gonna hit both at the same time. I don't know. You break 2 levels and hit the 3rd. Break 1 level, deep dive the 2nd, sure. Break level 1 to break level 2 and go to level 3. I don't know, man. Maybe if you stop like right here at 60 and then you can go down there and back up. But if you're going straight down right now, 52 is the right play. If you stop really close to it, then 35 is the right play. I don't know. This is looking kind of like it's gonna hold right now. Kind of looking like it's gonna hold. I can say with 99% confidence I would have exited on trend there if I was not already out. Only because it's like only an extra 15%. Isn't that like another full trade though? And trend could hold all of a sudden 50% of my profits are gone. You're too short-sighted, Nuke. I would still hold for this stuff down here. Like I said, it looks like it's gonna hold and now it's moving up, but you can still hold for the move down there. You can't always exit a trade just because of profits. What makes sense on a chart is what makes sense. Just because it's 50, that's like an inexperienced thing. Like you just exiting because it's certain amounts of profits. Yes, there's a point to that is true. Like if you're hitting like a daily goal, I understand, but you know, for teaching purposes, it's not there yet. But let's measure the profits. Let's see what you have here. Let me measure it first before I give an answer to that. So you've got 63 is a lot for a scalp inside of a range. If your maximum potential on the scalp is 83, and you've got 63, so you've got 3/4 of it. Yeah, it's a good exit. It's a good exit. Regardless of what's happening here, it's a good exit. Like I said, this looks like it's starting to hold. Because you're taking 75% of the range. If the range was down to here, I would say it's a terrible exit, because all of a sudden you're just leaving so much on the table. You're like 1/3 of the total profits. But at this point, you're better off taking profits here and then doing that. Again, regardless of what happens here, I think that would be correct in this case. Only because you're taking most of the range anyways. If the total range was 2%, I would say you're crazy, but yeah. If the total range was 2%, I would say you're crazy, because it's 0.8 and you've gotten 0.63. It's 0.83 and you've gotten 0.63. You've taken that much out of it. You're now weighing value against risk, right? Like, what's the value of, if you're exiting here, even especially, because now you're saying you're exiting here, you're at 75 versus 63. Yeah.
potentially lose all the way here, potentially lose 51% of profits for an extra 15. It doesn't make sense. Not even for an extra 12%. Potentially lose 51% for an extra 12% doesn't make sense. You've taken the most of it. So yeah, you're right, Nuke. You're right. But that is your downfall sometimes, is too short-sightedness. If this range was bigger, that would have been a very short-sighted answer. But because the range is here, that's perfectly acceptable. It's the correct play. I'm not in the trade, so I'm not measuring. I tried. My entry was like right here. Pretty close. Okay, we're gonna let this develop for a few minutes and we're gonna come right back. We're gonna be back. We're gonna be back in a few minutes here. I'm just gonna let this move develop. Take a small break and then we'll continue talking about this move. Okay, so now that this range is holding on the 5, it's kind of changing what I'm looking at on the move. It does feel like we're gonna break this down here. Well, the thing is, Nuke, like so many trades, they're gonna do exactly this. They're gonna do exactly this and create a range, and it's gonna move down to a target way lower down here. So when you look at this move, I'm not even certain I want to enter this anymore. I mean, it's still fine, but you can see where ranges are working against each other. Like if this collapses, can this hold? Like, I guess your trade now just becomes from here to here. So does it even become worth risking the trade? Because now we've got like another range holding. So now your profit caps at like 45. Like this kind of stuff happens all the time, Nuke. Sometimes exiting a trade, even if it looks smart, can be a sin. Because now we have like a developed range here. Like this is pretty straightforward. This just looks like it's gonna break this thing back up into this range here now. This looks like this is just starting a ladder here, especially with the development of this range trend. It's really important to see this because now all of a sudden this trade, yeah, it's gonna hit this and then probably fall straight down. So I suppose you still take exit here, but then you take re-entry on this trend after this touches. If this is rejecting, you take re-entry. Because it just like, if this stuff doesn't hold, now you've got a bigger problem with this trade. With all of this, because now you have a range here. So my expectations of this as a trade have now lowered. You still have the bigger trend here, which is fine, but this bigger trend is offset by this bigger trend, and there's no other trends on the bottom yet. Like there may be something like this, but I wouldn't really use something like this too much. Like anything down here I wouldn't use. You need to create that bigger trend down here, right? Like you need to create that hourly or that 4 hour. I guess it would be a 4 hour now. Come down here, test this throughout the course of the day. Right now it looks like hourly. So, you know, it's definitely changing my perception of this trade here too, because now I don't really like this all of a sudden, because such a fresh range is rejecting this move. It's like it could just break this. It's interesting how when these ranges are developed, how it so quickly changes the move for the rest of the day. Like earlier, great trade rate to here. Now, oh man, with this range developed, this looks like just crap now. It doesn't look good at all. It looks like this just developed a move to break this. All of a sudden, if I was long from here, I would be like, uh-oh, maybe I need to get out to look for the re-entry here. So now I'd be looking to exit. I'd be looking to exit. Like, I'm not quite convinced yet. I'm not quite there yet, but this is the kind of stuff that would make me say, okay, I got to get out of this. Because this is very unexpected to create this range like this. Just constantly, like have a move down, miss your target, and then create another range. Like miss your target, create a range, and then hold, like create a range,
miss your target, hold the range. Like this is breaking. Sure, it looks like it. So things can change so fast in the charts. It's crazy. Well, we're going to see what happens in the next few minutes here, but ooh, this does not look good. I definitely want to go for the lower level now. Combination is great, but alternatively, if this keeps holding, this breaks, it launches. This is polarity of the move now, for sure. All of this stuff, this just became the polarized part of the move. It's kind of like right here. It becomes like the polarized part of the move, right? Break above it. I wouldn't call this re-entry. It kind of becomes a polarized part of the move because it's like a very unexpected range. So hold something, break above it, go to a higher component. So then you're maybe up in here now. If this breaks, it's polarizing it up to that higher range. This is definitely like polarity in the move now, though. Range, polarity. Which means this isn't even a level anymore. Now this is polarity. So that means you just delete that trend. So I'm going to let this thing run for a few minutes. Let's talk about something else. One more quick look. Four-hour in blue would be great here. I almost want to say you're like this right now. I almost like this as a target. I do. I don't like this now. I don't think I would use any of this. I would be using this down here. Moving up in time frames. Jesus, what am I doing with my life? This is your target, 21, 21.1, 21.090 or so. I don't like this anymore. Yeah, no, I like this as a target. These two, depending on how you get there. Those are your targets. This I don't like.
So it actually might have been a mistake to exit this trade here. Yeah, it was a mistake to exit there. Shit. Too late now. Too late now. Agreed with it, but in hindsight, that was a mistake. Yeah, small break, let it run for a few minutes. We'll just do a small break, let it run. I'm curious to see if this 15 holds now, but I don't think it will. But small break, let it run. To be clear, I think you can take a trade on the 15 still. I just don't think you're expecting it to break up. I think it's more of like 15. See if you can get back up here. If you can't, get out. Oh man, right back to this trend again? Dude. If this thing like, here's the problem. If it keeps holding, you know it's dumping. That's the thing. Like, this is a nasty interior range that was like, I can't believe this thing has been holding 1, 2, 3, 4 hours straight. Dude, this thing is gonna crush the move. I don't think I'm taking any longs here. Actually, I'm gonna take my order off the book because I actually do have an order set here. As you can see, I do have an order set here. I'm taking it off the books. There is no way. There is no way I'm even touching that level, that range. This is an important thing to talk about, that, you know, once you have an interior range created like this, and this is pretty out of the blue, to be honest. I was expecting a much bigger move down. And then when you have a range created like this thing is going to crush this move. It's going to punch it in the face so hard. It's going to end up down. Like you're going to hit your lower targets for sure. This is the minimum I'd be looking at now. I almost want to short this from here, even though I missed the top of this by like a few dollars. What was my entry on that? Let me double check here. Open short 21,334. So my entry was here. So I just barely missed it. I almost want to take a short on this trend again. This is ridiculous. That's a nasty trend. This thing is polarizing the move like crazy. When you have such an interior range created like this, you've got to start looking for deeper targets here. This is like a must right now. This thing is silly. Like if it holds again, Jesus, dude. I guess it hasn't been 1 hour yet even. It got created at the top of the hour, but like that's a lot of 15-minute candles to hold. My God. Especially because it'll create this as a backside if it holds, and then it creates this as a backside. So what are you gonna do? Bounce this, backside this, and go straight down? No, you're gonna go straight down to some other bigger target, maybe even now here and here, and hit this backside. Like Jesus, what a trend, dude. If this breaks though, that's good. Good for Bitcoin's giving us some nice shorts up top. I would almost short this instead. This is a pretty crazy interior range trend. That's pretty nuts. It's one of the rare cases I would use something like this. One of the rare cases where I would use this. This is going to be obviously smaller time frame, right? Like you're just shortcutting it a little bit, but one of the cases where I would use that. That's so nasty. That's unbelievable. So let's talk about what's expected for the rest of the day here. Obviously bigger range target here to be had. You've got 3 interior range targets now. So you've got this one here, you've got the second one here, which I really don't like anymore. If we go higher in the move, that's fine. If this doesn't hold the move down, that's okay. I still do like this, but I like reshorting up here to get down to this target next. So that's fine. That's fine. You can use that. You can use this again, this range again, if you break that trend there. But I want to keep this trend intact because this is not this is not saying like screaming, oh, I've broken the move. No, not yet. So if this holds, I don't like this. If we delete this, that's fine. That's fine. I still like the 15 minutes. So that's the first part that I'll be looking at. Second piece is this. Third piece is this. Creating down here some type of move down in here to create that daily.
Most important outlook for the day today is going to be creating that daily distribution candle. So ending up down here will be good for longs, but you have to create more interior pieces like what we looked at today. Create more interior pieces for that daily distribution candle to create and allow that to be the piece that actually puts you into accumulation. So if we have that set up, you can start thinking long-term holding this move, right? You can start thinking about that long-term. On the top side, yeah, I mean, you're really starting to polarize this move too on the top side, right? Like, I mean, I guess you're just going here. You're just going right here at this point. You're just going to 315 as a short. It's not worth risking for $4 more. You're just going here for a short. And if this holds and you're in those lower targets. If not, you need to break one. You need to identify which ladder point breaks in order to understand which float level to go after. So that would be the next part of this. Depending on which time frame ladder you break is the float you have to go over. Like if you break this one here, you have to go over this 15-minute float. So if you get above this wick, this 15 is your buy. If you get above this hourly down here is your buy. So if you go all the way up here, reject, you're going down to the hourly to create that blue. I think you can use the 15 on both because you're going to create a 15 here. You can always buy the 15 on both no matter which ladder point you break. But I think that ultimately, if you go above the hourly is the target. Yeah. Looks like this thing's starting to move up. So 315 short. You could take 302, but I think 315 is more appropriate here. Unless you're just holding back this part of the move. Well, this is pretty much gone now, so that's good. This is back and activated. This is back in play. If that trend was there, there's no goddamn way I would take that. Are you kidding me? Thank God this thing broke. Because then it just means we wait all day to get a trade. 315, I think, is the right play here. You can double check time frames to make sure. Go to the hourly at 325. It's also a possibility. But I just like reversing this 15 right now. I even kind of like this. You've already gone here. Failed to create the break. That won't do it. That won't do it. Yeah, you know what? You can actually go for maybe even this. Hourly. Maybe you can go for the hourly right now. No. This polarizes the move too much. 315. This polarizes the move way too much. So if that's gonna hold, your best case scenario can't be this, right? Then you've got to start thinking this. Here to here. Yeah. 315. You hope it goes to this target. I think everything else is just a little too light. Don't do it, dude. Don't do it. Don't do a Bitcoin. Not twice in a row, dude. Oh, I just missed this trade too. Come on, man. I had 306 as my price on BitGet. Dude. 2 in a row. Well, that's what it is, I guess. Oh. That's depressing. 2 in a row today. Nah, maybe we'll still get filled. Maybe you get still get filled. feel like I'm gonna miss by $1. No, that'll be the move. Oh, hopefully it's not. Hopefully we still move up a little bit here. Oh, we might get a little push up here. No, it's holding this right now. It's about to sink. It can't sustain much longer. Can't really hold this much longer. And if it does, you got to be worried about the snap up because now you're breaking the hold level, right? So now there's like a little bit like you can't really take this trade at all. Because if it breaks this, it's already tested this. If it hard closes this, you're worried about the snap up. Create the one, reject that, snap up. May have to cancel your trade. I still have my trade on the books, but now I'm concerned that it's going to snap the level. I think this type of trading talk insight is pretty valuable for everybody. Thoughts? Because I think this is pretty good. Like you almost want to take a short now and just forget going for the higher little spike up here, to be honest. Like you almost want to just adjust your short down. Right? Like you almost just want to take a short like right here now at 97. You can't even, you just want to almost market short this sucker past this. Like you never market trade, but you know what I mean? Like if it holds again, this move is gone, dude. Like if we create a white candle here, this thing's dead. Maybe you can just get like the little spike up and fall down. I'm giving this trade exactly 65 seconds. 5 seconds over this. I'm giving it exactly one candle to hit target and dump. Otherwise, I'm not taking the trade. Because if this goes under this candle now, I'm not even interested in this anymore at all. Come on, dude. Yeah, official trade off the books. Fuck. Oh, that's so frustrating, dude. Pardon my language, but oh, that's frustrating because you know what's gonna happen. It's so obvious, dude. Oh, that's so frustrating. Oh well. Say I love you, next trade. Seriously, just like next trade. Just next trade. Stupid Bitcoin. But it's just so obvious. You can't take the trade now either, because the thing about the trade now is that it's already attempted to make its move down. So if it pumps now, then it's gonna just break up, I think. It's just like, okay, dude. Dude, that's a hell of a little move and then pull back up 20%. But you can see why somebody just goes crazy and market dumps it there, right? Like you can see it because like you can only hold this level for so long before this thing just dies, right? Pain, heck yes, it's so good. Yes, it is. Literally missed by 50 cents. Absolutely gives us time to reflect on what we do. We might be able to best way forward. Yeah, like I think this is very valuable. Like even right now, like I just took my order off the book, so there's no point. If I was gonna take a trade now, I would do it off of this question mark. This I would do it off of this. Now I would adjust target to here because I'd like to see rip, dump. Much of super new things on the charts are fun to learn. Trade management, things like this are what I need. I think a lot of us need right now. Yeah, I've made it a point to kind of just do this kind of trade management, taking trades with the groups. Unfortunately, I'm just missing the trades by a few dollars every time. But you can see where this continues to hold this level. Like 5 candles is really pushing it, by the way, just so people know. If you want to do the counting game, like hold level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles and then an accumulation candle while still holding target while laddering the top. Okay, GG, dude. Like you win. This thing just dumps, right? That's why you see that big like market crush there. It's like whale alerts kind of stuff. It's a good exercise and it's important to practice opposed to learning something new. Yep. It's a perfect entry there at 302. It sucks because I had 306 because that's like right and around the region I wanted to buy.
But I just wanted to go a little higher, but never got there on Bic yet. That's shame. That's painful. I mean, it might move up, but at this point, you're not going for the ladder past this. Like at this point, you're going for we're breaking trend. Just kidding. LOL. This thing is moving down. So like whatever this tests, even like maybe you even want to be like whatever this test. Maybe you even want to just ladder off of that. But this is close enough to laddering off it. So 342 is like pretty perfect entry because now you just want it to go here and then straight down. But there's no guarantee it's going to do that, right? Like you want to continue the laddering of this piece of the move and keep this trend intact. Also, this move looks like it's kind of breaking up in a way by like faking out this dump. I don't really want to say faking out, but like it has this dump and it's still not dumping the move. It just looks like it's going to try to break up a bit higher target here. So I think I might even just forget this and maybe just go for the next target on the books. So now I need to go back to the drawing board a bit here. Now I need to adjust my expectations once again. Oopsies, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think you just go here. I think you just go 420. Oh, 420 gang squad. Yep, 420 is the one. Oh, it's 418. Damn. I think you just go here now because I think you can deep dive and use this as range. Like if this is breaking here, I liked this before. If it's breaking now, I think you just go 420 and down. 420 represents like a really good spot on the charts here. Dude, it's still laddering off this move. Are you kidding me? What are you smoking? 304.5. I still want to been filled. So stupid. There's no way I keep my trade on there. There's no way, dude. I go 420 now. Let's see, you got filled on that short. How are you managing? Well, I wouldn't have been. That would have been an odd spot to get filled. I would just get out of this trade right now. I would limit out. I would limit out break even here if I was in the trade. Well, I don't know. Like, it's still holding its move, but it looks like it's about to rip up. You know, when you have this kind of hold like that, you expect a dump to come in. When this move just like blows past that dump and it's just like, nope, just kidding, lol, we're going up. I would just be like, yeah, no, I'm getting out of this trade. It just doesn't look like this thing's breaking down anymore. It looks like it tried to, because that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to hold for like 3 or 4 minutes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then you just go for a big dump, and that just instantly wicks back up, and now you're just trying to break over the level. I wouldn't be in this trade. I would probably take my limit exit right there. Like right here, like I would try to get filled right on that. Because yeah, this is going to happen, right? My phone vibrated at the exact same time that happened. I thought, oh no, did I actually just enter a trade and I forgot to take it off the book? But it was just like a news app thing. Yeah, no, I would have gotten out here, dude. There's no way I would stay in this thing. This is great. The play was correct, but then it just goes straight up. Even now, I would still be looking to limit exit. Right there, I would have been out. Whether this thing dumps or not, that's not the point. Like, this setup is just like looking breaky. I would have limited out exit even. Like even still, I stick to that here. I would have gone out exit break even. How are you gonna sit there in a trade when this thing's trying to break up like that? You know what I mean? It could still fly up here right now. Like that's a thing. You would almost consider longing this, you know, like especially because this move is trying to break. Like this is 285 to 420. Like you'd almost consider longing here. I mean, it's too risky to long that, but I think it would be smarter to long this than to short this right now. If you had to pick one or the other, if a gun was to your head and they were like, hey, pick one or the other, I would long this. I wouldn't be shorting this anymore. There's no way, dude. See?
because it could just break, like it's 280 to 420. So what is that, 60% pretty quickly? Yeah. Notice how I said they? I'm kidding. Well, I mean, in spirit, like type, I feel in level, it rips right back to the downstream, pump off, and I get lost in trades. These weird spots I don't want to be in. Yeah, you have to understand just like how these things break down and stuff. Okay, that's it for today. It's been 2.5 hours, so that's that'll be it for today. You guys continue to watch the trade. I'll leave the screen up for a few minutes, and if something crazy interesting happens, I got to get ready for a meeting that I have in 10 minutes. So I've just got to go grab a drink and stuff. But I'll leave the screen on for a few minutes here, and if something crazy happens, then we'll talk about it. But I need a few minutes break before I go into my meeting for the day. Okay, I will leave this on. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, see what I mean about you'd almost like if someone had a gun to your head, you better long here instead of like 420, right? So I want to talk about something here. Let's pretend that this actually did dump, okay? Let's pretend we're looking at this candle and it's about to dump. This doesn't make it, let's say we do dump, okay? Let's say we do dump. This doesn't make it a smart trade to keep that 306 on the board. Like, I took that trade off. Like that doesn't make it a smart trade to keep that 306 on the board. Like, you can, when there's a trade that looks like this and you've got a level right here, it is account suicide to take that level. You move on. Like, if the setup's not there, you either took this level and got out because you saw that this was moving up, or you're not taking this trade. You're basically at a point where if you longed right here, you're a god. You could even long here, like I said when it was happening. I said right here, I would rather long this than do anything, right? Like, once that happens, you cannot sit in your trade. The setup is gone. The trade is done. So if your trade missed because you were sitting here, even if you were sitting right here and you're like, oh, I know it's going to hit, the trade's done. You're not sitting here waiting for this trade. Like, the trade is 100% done. Even back to this point here. You can sit in this trade for exactly like maybe 1 to 2 candles. Like, if you're sitting here, like I was at 306 on Big S. So we'll just go right here because I was really close to getting filled. You can sit here for like 1, maybe 2 candles. I'm sitting here, I'm like, yes, if I get filled, it's okay, but I don't like it. I'll still keep it on. This candle comes. I'm like, okay, maybe we spike up. Maybe we spike up. This candle, nope, trade's done. Like, you're out of the trade. Like, don't ever sit there waiting for that trade to happen. It's account suicide. Once that setup occurs, you're either right or you move on. You either nail it or next trade. It's too important to like talk about that. Again, at this point, the dump failed. There is not going to be another like hit this level and move down. And I said it here. I said, put a gun to my head all along, right when we were sitting here for like 10 seconds. I said, put a gun to my head and I'll long this trade. I'm never shorting here. It was right here. It was right here. Sorry, it was right there. Put a gun to my head, I'll long this thing every time. If I have to take the choice. There's no dump trade to happen there. Once that setup goes to your level like that, whether you misidentified it or not, I identified it as trend, which was a bit higher. It hits this inverse. The trade's done. Like, just for the love of God, don't take that trade. Is that it? Replay mode is current. Has been incredibly helpful. So many great advices. A lot of people really enjoyed this. Yeah, I think this is really needed right now. 420 next level to go after 342. Don't like it. Don't like it. Can it ladder the move? Yes. This is what we're talking about. Like, whatever this was going after is what you go after. So you just hit this. You just front it for a few dollars. Not into it. I like 420. Create the higher time frame. The problem with 420 is that it has a tough time creating the daily. So now maybe we need to adjust our expectations to retesting this 4 hour. So now I would actually adjust a little bit of my expectations if we go to 420 to say that, okay, if we hold the 4 hour, this actually might be enough. because you could still create a daily up in here, right? Like don't be mistaken. You can bounce this 4 and you could create a daily like over here. You could, you know, you could come up, create this, bounce this 4, and then like go like this and create a daily right here while fighting for this range, but also holding the interior trend like this. So then you can create your daily right here in the future. So you don't have to create it down here. Just be aware of that. And now that we've had this little bit of development happen in the charts, I'm starting to shift my expectations on where I want to see that daily created. And I'm now opening the ability to say, okay, if we do go up here and we hold this, even if we go a little bit below it, but we hold it, I got to start thinking about creating the daily here. So now I got to start getting in before this trend break. So this was my entry, but it can't be entry. It can only be entry after it stabilizes. So just don't tunnel vision that daily down here too hard, because that is starting to get less and less. It's starting to become less and less likely as this move continues to develop now, because now you have more interior ranges holding up the move. So yep. We'll continue doing this for the next session as well, because it's pretty valuable, I think. So, okay, everybody, cheers. I got to get to my meeting. I'm actually 3 minutes late. So cheers, everyone.